Milwaukee's Broadway runs from the river in the city's North End neighborhood to the historic Third Ward. On the south end of Broadway, which, like the Great White Way in New York, is referred to only as Broadway, not Broadway Street, Ave, or Boulevard, is the Broadway Theater Center, home to 3 performing theater companies, including the center's owner, Skylight Music Theater. The company, known for its eclectic fun, is celebrating the launch of a milestone season with a Broadway leading lady who honed her acting and singing chops at a local high school that boasts an award-winning drama department. Our Sunday morning spotlight is shining on the Skylight Music Theater, its new artistic director, and Shorewood's Tony Award nominee, Kate Baldwin. A rousing Milwaukee welcome last week for a pair of theater professionals who decades ago moved on from their Midwestern roots.
Play it, Michael Unger, play it. Yeah,
hello.
Very, very good.
I'm Michael Unger,
Hi.
That's Kate Baldwin.
Hi.
And found success in the city that never sleeps.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
It was an evening of music and storytelling.
This is my first official time on this stage. It's very exciting.
An inside the actor studio type event at the Skylight Music Theater featuring 2-time Broadway Tony Award nominee and Shorewood native Kate Baldwin.
That's it?
And the Skylight's new artistic director, Michael Unger.
You walk in, you feel like you're in this other world, this European opera house. It's actually literally modeled after an opera house in France.
It was the first week on the job for this theater and opera director who grew up in the Chicago suburb of Highland Park.
To come back to the Midwest and to see a town that is so incredibly supported
Ever since we first saw the light.
in the cultural realm by such a vast swath of people, and the Midwestern vibe, which is, where my roots and it's where I'm from, and I'm happy to return.
As was Kate Baldwin. This was her first trip back to Milwaukee in 3 years.
It's been incredible. It's really been sort of like a strange, dreamy trip of like, this is your life, this is your past.
That laughter turned to tears of pride when I asked Kate if she could describe her visit earlier in the day to Shorewood High School.
I don't know if I could do it without getting emotional.
She couldn't, which is a tribute to her former classmates and teachers, including the late Barbara Gensler, a legendary drama teacher and director who instilled a sense of discipline and teamwork during Kate's formative years.
We were always shooting for something a little bit grander, a little bit deeper maybe, and for that I credit her, and I credit Gary Pruitt, and I credit our principal and our superintendent for letting us do all those things and saying, yeah, go for it. Be the first high school to do that show. Why not? Try it. It was awesome.
About the magic that a camera makes.
Lessons learned in high school paid off when Baldwin auditioned over and over again for a role in the musical comedy Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Every time I wore the same dress and I did the same hand gestures. Well, it worked. I got cast. Hold your tongue and hold your Snickers.
After previews at a theater in San Diego, the show opened on Broadway in 2002. But not before Kate and everyone else had to re-audition for their parts.
All told, I sang my song for them 7 times. By the end, they were doing the hand gestures along with me. But what do you know, it worked, because pretty soon I was tap dancing on TV as Millie won the Tony Award.
8 years later, Baldwin earned a Tony Award nomination for her work in the Broadway revival of Finian's Rainbow. And then, in 2017,
the nominees for Best Performance by an Actress in a Featured Role in a Musical are Kate Baldwin for Hello, Dolly.
A second nomination for her role is Irene Malloy in Broadway's Hello, Dolly, where she starred alongside Bette Midler and Bernadette Peters.
Yeah, those are 2 extraordinary women. You'll never find somebody who works harder than Bette Midler. And then for me, Bernadette Peters is Broadway royalty. She is the person I listened to growing up. She's the person I wanted to be like, and now I can call her on the phone and ask her questions if I want to. It's pretty cool.
I actually worked with Kate. She is...
When you hold the
of the finest artists we have in the world, certainly on Broadway.
Michael Unger comes to Milwaukee from off-Broadway's York Theater, where he directed numerous productions, concerts, and benefits.
I direct opera, I direct plays, I direct musicals.
You look frenzied.
And to see a place that focuses on opera to musical and concerts and everything in between felt like a really nice fit for me.
Also a good fit is Unger's continued involvement in new arts. Started in the wake of the Sandy Hook School mass shooting in Newtown, Connecticut, the program uses the performing arts to promote healing, creativity, and community.
In my 7 years in Newtown, it's really changed my life. It's changed the way I look at things. It's changed the way I create theater. Dr. Baruti, the man who founded the foundation, rather than accept the role of victim, he said, we're going to empower these kids to become leaders.
It's the kind of community collaboration and engagement this husband and father of twin teenagers aims to build on here at Skylight.
I don't think theater should happen if it's not teaching us something or demonstrating something or helping us look somewhere from a different lens.
Somebody somewhere.
This song from the Broadway musical The Most Happy Fella was the one that helped Baldwin land her first jobs in New York. She also sang it while auditioning for Skylight's 1998 season.
I got offered a role here at the Skylight. I got offered Hava in Fiddler on the Roof. But I went off to do Finian's Rainbow instead. I'm an Irish girl.
21 years later, this Irish girl, hailed as the red-headed firecracker by the New York Times, is helping her hometown theater celebrate its 60th anniversary by headlining the upcoming October 26th Skylight Night Gala.
That's obviously our major fundraiser for the year, and to have someone of that caliber who's also got local roots is a perfect match.
This song is, I guess, what the kids call a mashup.
The concert will be similar to Baldwin's successful one-woman show called How Did You Get This Number?, featuring songs from her Broadway performances and personal anecdotes, such as her favorite Hello Dolly line.
At the end of Act 1, Irene, my character, and Cornelius waltz across the stage, and we see Dolly Levi, and she turns and she says, "Irene, you're crying," which I'm good at. And I say, "Oh, Dolly, the world is full of wonderful things."
Wonderful and not so wonderful things. Life experiences on and off the stage, from New York to Shorewood and points between. This award-winning actress is now eager to share with others.
I feel like I'm entering this phase of my life where it's my job to sort of pass it on and to let people in on what I know. I'm not saying I know everything. I'm saying I know just a little. I have my own personal experience, my own personal take on things.
If I can make it there.
And so what I find moving is trying to impart that to somebody else and trying to share it with somebody else. And that feels like, it just feels like a shift. It feels like, the next phase of my life. Yeah.